Hey everybody, welcome back to Creative Differences. I'm here with Humza. I'm Jarrett, and we got a lot of news today.
Yeah,
We do.
got a bit of catching up to do.
Yeah, because we record on Thursdays, but that was also the same day as the State of Play last week, so it didn't really line up. So
Yeah,
we're gonna start there because there was a lot of cool stuff at that live stream. I was really into it.
yeah. These state of play titles for PlayStation are more like satisfying than the Xbox ones, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But this state of play seemed to be more geared towards like almost indie titles for their PS4 and PS5 launch.
Yeah, third-party stuff too. You know.
Yeah. So what was the first thing that you wanted to talk about with state of play?
I like that they opened with Pathless, didn't they?
Yeah, they opened with
It's from Giant Squid. The head of that studio was the guy that made Flower and Journey, and then he made Giant Squid, and then they made Abzu, and Pathless is their new game,
Whoa, that's sick.
featuring one of the best video game composers in my opinion, Austin Wintory. He did Journey, he did Abzu, and he's doing this game.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this game looks like a sort of
It's open world,
yeah.
minimalist. You have to shoot targets with your bow and arrow to like speed boosts almost, and that's how you
Yeah.
kind of traverse. And I think that's really cool. And they showed like a cool boss fight.
Yeah.
I think it's a launch title too.
It's a launch
Which is
title
nice.
for the PS5. It seems to follow this like archer character, and the game progresses through you using your arrow to hit targets.
And you have a bird too, like an eagle.
Yeah.
And you can use it as like a glider, like you could in Breath of the Wild.
Hell yeah. So it looks really fun to like explore this game and like hopefully it's a pretty cool title. It seems way more like of a video game.
Yeah, it's a
Journey.
little bit of a departure for that studio because Journey, is very much like an exploration game, and so is Abzu.
I've never played Abzu, but Journey. I remember watching Journey. I remember watching Bernie Burns from Rooster Teeth and Ray Narvaez from Achievement Hunter way back. When that game like first came out, they played it together, and that game's like super short. Like it's only like an hour long.
It's a couple of hours. It's short enough that I think for the 10th anniversary or something like that, they did a live version playthrough of the game where Austin conducted live to the game. They had to make a special build of it that could still work with the online part. But they were playing it live.
Yeah.
And they turned off all the sound,
Yeah.
Or all the music rather, so that Austin could perform it live
Yeah.
with
That's
an orchestra.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it's really
super cool.
I think there's videos of it on YouTube.
Dude, I love that.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That's a game that would be really good for that. I wouldn't want to do like a Final Fantasy live performance through the whole entire game.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Those I've been to a couple like game orchestra shows, and they're really fun, especially if you really love the game. Like I've seen Zelda, I've seen Final Fantasy, I've seen Kingdom Hearts. I was thinking about it of buying tickets for the Final Fantasy VII one because that was supposed to start a world tour this spring.
Yeah.
There's a plague. That's not happening anymore.
Yeah. COVID kind of messed up a whole lot, so I'm sorry that concert is now canceled or delayed.
I don't think I ever bought tickets for it, but
yeah.
I was thinking about it because I still haven't finished that game, but that soundtrack is a banger.
Yeah, and it sucks because those things, as beautiful and as very cool as they are, it's hard to do that with traveling orchestra. It's hard to have all your
because you have to get the because it's not one orchestra. It's you go from city to city and use an orchestra there. So they have to rehearse it, It's a very, very intense thing to learn,
They're very good at it, though.
Yeah, everyone I've been to has been incredible.
Yeah, I remember I listened to like a podcast or a video with Deadmau5, and he was like working with like an orchestra. Like he was doing like an orchestral album, and he had composed something, and when he handed it to them, he expected them to take like 10 tries to get it right, and then on the first try they immediately masterpieced it, and it was like perfect notes with everything. And he's like, how'd you guys do it so fast? And he's like, well, each one of us has been in school for 10 years, so we can do it on our first try, and so that shit's always really cool. But anyway, more PlayStation games.
Yeah, we got Hitman VR, which was VR. Like that was insane. I was like, what are they gonna show? You know, like
tell us about Hitman VR.
So like it opened, they're showing off the Dubai level, you know, for again, 3. For 3, and then it's Agent 47. He walks in, and then it slowly the camera pans in, and then it's FPS, and then the VR logo comes up in the corner. I was like, oh.
That game would be very fun in VR.
Yeah, and it's not even just 3. They're gonna make all the Hitman 1 and 2 compatible with VR as well.
That's awesome. Now I'll do Absolution in VR.
That was the first one I ever played.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That was old. I remember Conan O'Brien playing that on Clueless Gamer, and he kept making fun of, like, titties and stuff. But, yeah, so we got Hitman VR, we got Pathless, we got Spelunky 2.
Aw, I'm so glad that PlayStation gave him all that money to finish the game. I really love roguelikes. They're one of my favorite indie genres. I played a lot of Spelunky when I was a kid, like on my first PC. That was a pre-built. It was kind of shitty. It could barely run Minecraft, but it played Spelunky really well, and I would play that all the time. And I've been excited for this game for a while, so I'm glad. I think it comes out in September.
Oh, really?
But I think the PC release is a little bit delayed after that. They haven't announced a date for that yet.
Interesting.
He said that he needs more time to fix the multiplayer for the PC version.
I see. Gotta polish it.
Yeah.
Polish that bad boy. As well, we had Aeon Must Die.
Oh, yeah. Oof.
That game, see, because during the state of play, there was that title, Aeon Must Die.
Yeah, it's like a beat 'em up, pretty much, side-scroller.
Looks like a side-scrolling.
Lots of high production value in the art. And then it turned out that all of that company that published it fucked over the devs.
Yeah.
And forced them to quit, right?
Yeah, so this cool sort of synthwave soundtrack with like a really cool Outrun theme that looks fucking sick. Apparently it had been that all the developers on it were just not given the right work conditions.
Yeah,
the environment
lots of crunch.
Lots of crunch time. The trailer was like all fucking it wasn't like outsourced, but none of the people that worked on that trailer are now working on the game.
They essentially quit because of how bad the work conditions was, and the one of the leads was the person that came up with the IP. Tried to get it back, and I think they're suing them now to get it back because of how shitty the whole situation was. Yeah. There's like a whole Dropbox thing of pages on pages of how the studio fucked over these devs that you can go read if you Google, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
We also got to look at Crash 4, and I want to talk about that because Toys for Bob, which is the studio that remade the Crash trilogy and then the Spyro trilogy, they're making Crash 4, their first original game, and it looks great. I'm really excited to see that the 3D platformer can exist outside of Nintendo at such a high quality,
Yeah.
I'll probably play it because it looked really cool. It looks fun.
Is it a PS5 title?
No, it comes out like next month or October or something like that.
Dang, super soon.
Yeah, but I think it's just a PS4 exclusive because the other ones came out on like the remake came out like on everything, but because this is like Crash 4, I feel like Sony was like, we'll give you the money to do it, but it's ours.
Yeah, absolutely. It's our new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Crash 4 looks interesting because it's doing the Ratchet and Clank thing of like alternate dimensions and stuff. But like the graphics look really good. The art style is always fun. The State of Play showed off a lot of like platformers.
Yeah. Cool. We got another look at Bug Snacks, and like it's the first time they explained what this game is. And you're like a journalist, I think, right?
Oh man.
And you go to the island and you have to like meet all the Bug Snacks and like help out the people.
I am fascinated with Bug Snacks because it's like the first trailer was like a totally different tone. It was like fun and whimsical and like looks like a kid game.
Yeah.
But now this one, as you said, it's like you play as like a journalist and you want to explore this island, but you're not like allowed to, but you do it anyway, and then you begin learning on the island and finding out some crazy shit.
Yeah. There's I bet there's like a conspiracy. Like this game on the surface level, it's like, you got your Caro Caro Veneno song, but like someone's gonna get murdered and it's gonna turn into like a mystery.
It feels very much like the intro to Outlast.
Yeah.
Of like a journalist showing up to this weird, creepy place. And
get eaten alive by bug snacks.
Some weird like just mutation thing, with these animals and snacks.
Yeah.
But it's super creative and interesting, and I like it because it's something that's just so different from so much other titles right now.
Before we move on, there's a couple of PlayStation things I wanted to touch on. Today we got a new look at
Miles Morales?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They posted a new screenshot of like the ray tracing, and it looks, and then I saw like a comparison next to the original game. Holy shit, it's such a upgrade, and it looks way better. And they said that Miles has his own independent animation separate to Peter, and his own abilities, and that Peter's going to show up throughout the game to kind of train him. They hint at that in like the DLC, I think. Yeah, like Miles is always calling Peter. He's like, I want to be Spider-Man.
And he's like, did you do your math homework?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Him. Dude, I'm so excited for Miles Morales Spider-Man game because I'm excited for the skins. Because as like...
I want the movie to be a skin,
Oh, which movie?
Like the Miles Morales movie. I want them to make like a cell-shaded like skin.
Oh, like the Spider-Verse one. Because that skin, like, it's cool and all, and I like it, but I love the comic suit where it's like the lines of the web are red, and it's just like that black.
They have like a comic book suit in the original game that it's very cell-shaded, and it looks really good.
Yeah, so there's certainly like a point of like, because I'm excited for different animations, because as fun as it is to watch Spider-Man swing around, I'm interested in seeing what Insomniac has made differently.
Yeah. And in this game it's like Spider-Man 1.5 kind of,
Yeah, it's definitely a sequel. It's definitely its own game. It's its own title and its own characters, but it's just not two.
Yeah.
It's just Miles' story.
Yeah. So I guess they're gonna save that cliffhanger from the end of the first game where you see Harry in the tube all venomed out.
Yeah, it looks like they're saving their big villains for the second one, probably like Symbiote and shit like that. But I don't know what Miles is gonna be like going up against.
That game's coming out pretty soon, so I'm. By this time, when the first game was coming out, we kind of knew who the villains were.
Yeah, because
we knew a little bit more. So I'm sure we'll be seeing more of Spider-Man in the future.
Yeah, very exciting stuff. And then we got our second Cyberpunk.
Yeah, 20. Monday.
Or was there anything other PlayStation?
Oh no, we can move on. On Monday we had Night City Wire 2.
Yeah.
And oh boy, this is the best that it's been for Cyberpunk trailers. I feel like that gunplay trailer, I've watched it like 8 times. It's so good.
So it starts off with our boy Keanu Reeves, who plays Johnny Silverhand in this game, and their like inside look at the music of it.
Yeah, how they turned the Swedish. I think they're Swedish, but they're a punk band. They're called Refused, and they're doing all of the samurai tracks for the game.
Yeah. So Samurai is on Spotify. And the tracks are like pretty good, pretty solid. I'm just looking forward to the actual like soundtrack for this game, like way more. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but like when these trailers start, there's like a little theme and a little icon, and I love that intro theme a lot. And I keep hearing it, and I'm like, that's like soundtrack, like that's composed music.
And all the songs that have been in the trailers so far that are like licensed music, they were contracted to be made for the game, so that's why you can't hear them yet.
Yeah, they're like the one with that weapons plate.
Yeah. That was made for the game, which is really cool. Because last year at E3 they interviewed a couple of different artists like Grimes and Run the Jewels, and I think A$AP Rocky. I could be wrong.
I think so. I feel like that name was.
But they're all gonna be in the game. I don't know if they're making original music or just bringing over some tracks, but I'm really excited because at the end of that music section, they also mentioned that they're gonna touch on radio stations in the future. So
that's cool.
Hopefully, Night City Wire 3 is gonna get into that, because if I can play this game like Fallout, where I can just turn on the radio and play the game,
hell yeah,
I'd be so into that.
I don't know if you remember, but the Grimes song is called like. It's like 4, the letter 4, and AEM, like that weird
4 a.m. Yeah, and she did it at Game Awards. Remember?
Yeah, she did, and I was like, and people were like, "What? What does that mean?" And then she had her kid.
Yeah,
and it's that same.
it's the
so,
AE. Yeah, the A.
But anyway, Cyberpunk. We got our look at life paths.
Yeah. So you get to choose in the beginning from 3 options, I believe.
3. You get Nomad, which seems to be this sort of outrun.
Yeah, you start in the Badlands.
Yeah, it's very very like simple life, and then you've got Street Kid, which is experienced in the world of Night City.
Yeah, you grew up in Haywood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I feel like there's gonna be a lot of really cool like gangs and stuff that you can see there.
And then Corpo, where you start at the top. You know?
Yeah.
You rose through the ladder, and you have all the business insides. You got the deets.
You got that Tesla car key. That's like a card. You got tons of, because I love the aesthetic of the Corpo. I think that's the one that I'll probably like play my first time.
Yeah, because you're just a dirty capitalist pig.
Dude, I want to just be a cog in the machine. I want to work that 9 to 5. The whole game is just stocks. You're doing it Excel, and that's it. You can get bio upgrades to make yourself do like algorithms a lot faster.
I'm probably gonna pick Street Kid the first time because I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with all of the different gangs in the game.
Absolutely.
From that perspective, like I'll have some insider knowledge of like all the different gangs, and maybe they'll trust me more because I'm a street kid. You know?
Yeah. You'll be able to gain like trust with them. You'll be able to gain missions and weapons, I'm sure, from them more easily.
Were there any weapons from the weapon part that stood out to you?
So I really like the SMG design where it's like the smart pistols that they show off and things like that. I think that is such a creative way to change up like gun combat, because the other guns were just like these like dual...
there's different types. There's power, which is like a normal gun, and then smart, which are the auto aim ones, and then the third one was power, and those have a couple of different the third one is
cyber
technical,
something like that. There's a ton of names. There
was the other type that I'm thinking of is the one that can shoot through walls. I don't remember the name of it, unfortunately,
but it was in that 5-hour like showcase that journalists were given.
So you like the SMGs?
I think I like the aesthetic of them, because the other ones like we've seen a lot of like these like double-barreled shotguns.
Oh, I'm going full shotguns.
Yeah.
They said there's like an 8-barrel smart shotgun. I'm going for that as soon as I find it.
Hell yeah, man. I think my favorite thing with a lot of these, because when I'm basing the combat and the choices to tackle it is similar like Deus Ex. I want to be able to like have a good plethora of like weapons to you know, mow down people, but also like hack through shit if I need to.
I don't know. I'm kind of bored of stealth right now in games. You know, so I think I want to go fast and loud. So I'm gonna go shotguns and gorilla hands, or the gorilla arms. You know that you can like pick up the giant turrets, and then you can punch people really hard.
It looks really cool. I love the designs of these bio enhancements, that they look like human hands, but they all like crack. They look like Drake from the Sprite commercial.
I definitely want to go like a big tank kind of build.
Oh, really?
Feel like.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be into that a lot.
That'd be sick. Are you going to be a boy V or a girl V?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't thought about the character customization too much, because when they gave everybody that hands-on demo, that was when the first time you got to like mess around with that, and they haven't really shown it since then because they weren't allowed to capture any footage from that. Yeah. So I'm waiting to see maybe some more customization options before I really decide what I'm going to do for that.
Yeah. I think that the one thing that I still want to see from this game that we don't get to see a whole lot is like the UI. Like I just want to see.
Yeah, they keep turning it off for the trailer, so it's hard to figure out.
It is, and it also like consistently changes so much.
Yeah,
like, there's so many different styles that they clearly want to have with it, which is you know, with the games as a service type of thing, they could totally update it and change.
Oh yeah, I think if I remember correctly, Witcher 3 had 30 patches that changed the UI like 80 times over the course of the game. So
interesting.
UI is definitely something that is gonna change. I feel like CD Projekt Red is always gonna mess with that, because I'm sure once the game comes out, they're gonna listen to the feedback and then upgrade, you know, based on that.
Yeah.
They also announced a companion book about the lore, and I'm thinking about picking that up because it looks really well made. And I sent this to you a while ago, but there's like a video that I found that explains the lore of Johnny Silverhand, and his backstory goes way deep because he's actually like 100 years old. That's why he's in that chip. He got trapped in there in the 2020s.
Oh, that's cool.
Essentially, yeah, he's a big rock star, and then he met this girl, and then they got in trouble with Arasaka, the big corporation, and they stormed them during the fourth corporate world, and then she got trapped inside of like a computer, and then he had to get her out, but I don't think it ended well for him, and then now he's in a chip. And
like he's like an AI now?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then at some point he gets implanted in the V.
Oh, that's cool.
But this is the first time we get to see possibly playable Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool. A good way to give us his backstory, because you would only know it if you've played the tabletop game.
Yeah.
That's where all that lore comes from. So there's a lot of stuff that I think they're going to implement into from the tabletop game into the actual game. So
yeah, it seems that like because those tabletop games always have those giant books that they want you to get, and that's where a lot of that lore comes from. I think it's really interesting to see like what the history of this place is. I think that there was like a I think there was like a Twitter account or something where it was like every day there was a new piece of like lore for Cyberpunk until like it came out, but it's been delayed a couple times. So yeah, they did like 365 posts like every day for it, and they would talk about like what exactly happened, whether that was like big historical events or just like about the gangs or about the world. And yeah, it was super cool learning about all that. There's a lot of like written history.
Yeah. I kind of wish there was more voice options for the V character, because you know, there you do get to, you know, choose your gender, but it's only 2 different voices.
Yeah.
So I would have, I think, appreciated maybe a little bit more variation in that, because I don't know how much I vibe with the voices now.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on them.
Yeah. No, I get that. That like makes or breaks a main, you know,
yeah.
Especially if you hear them talk every time, you know, as if you don't like the voice.
Yeah, and it's sad that I think due to just the game, you know, I remember a while ago, I think last year at E3, they kind of walked back a couple of things, like there are no third person, it's not in the game anymore, so you can't really see your character outside of like a menu, and that's a bummer.
Yeah, it sucks that there's a point of like, you know, you have all these customizations, you have all these weapons, you can get all these cool things, but you know,
you don't really see it.
Yeah, it's a creative decision of like how much of it do you really get to see.
Yeah, and I think that just has to, you know, that's because it's an FPS. You know, it's harder to you know, make a first person shooter while also making it a third person shooter. Just, you know, it's hard. You know, Witcher doesn't do that. You know, you can't go to first person there, but
Destiny is like that too. Of like you're literally working to get armor, and you only get to see it either in your menu tabs or when you're at like a hub point. You know, you don't ever really get to see it during gameplay. But I don't know.
I'm sure someone will mod it. You know, Witcher 3 has like a small modding community.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure Cyberpunk will as well.
Yeah, no, very exciting. Cyberpunk again proving itself that this is a game to be excited for, and will definitely be like that's like. When Cyberpunk was announced that it's coming out in November, I was like, all right, we'll just fucking get it then. Yeah. You know?
Because it's supposed to be end of September, I think, or the last delay was the end of September, I think, and then it got delayed to November. Speaking of delays, Halo Infinite is now not coming out this year.
No, they're coming out sometime next year.
I want to hear your perspective as a Halo fan before I go and trash Xbox on a rant.
So... The Halo community is like, there are a group of like actual fans who like these games and will always play like Halo games, and they don't ever mean to be like hateful towards 343.
Are they getting a lot of shit? I would imagine
it's that group, and then there's the group of people that are angry about like the graphics not being good and like sprint being a thing, and like there's all these like, I don't know, they seem very like childish and immature, and they're the people who are upset about this because this is the first time a Halo game has been delayed. No other Halo game has ever been delayed or canceled or anything like that. It's always been either it's a big title that's happening. I think that this is a good thing.
Oh, definitely. I was not impressed by that trailer at all, and I don't think many people were.
Yeah. If 343 needs more time to make this game as polished and as good as they want it to be, then absolutely. Take your time with it.
Absolutely. I support that 100%.
They really need time to, like, fully settle in on their design choices, because that's what I hate about the community too, is like 343 clearly wants to take Halo in a different, creative, and interesting direction, but the community always gets upset if it's not exactly like how it looked in Halo 1, because they were angry about like the pistol being like so much more different, and people were like, how can Halo be better and how can it grow if you don't allow it to get creative every now and then? You're not allowing 343 to kind of make the decisions that they really want to.
Oh yeah, opening and making this game like an open world kind of thing is a very interesting gameplay design, but if they fuck it up, it's not going to be good.
I'm not expecting this to be like a Ghost of Tsushima level of good open world. I'm expecting like a bigger scoped Halo game, which is honestly like what would be a really cool way to like, reboot the franchise, is just with a larger scope of the actual game.
Now, let me ask you, is that, that the part in the trailer kind of like halfway through when he starts shooting and then he's going to like that tower or whatever, is that what like all the gameplay in Halo is like?
Yeah, of just like going around shooting stuff.
That looked fucking boring.
Yeah, man.
And I'm sad that that's what you've had to play for 10 years.
No, man. Halo has always been just like, here's objective.
There was like no music in the background either. It was really like weird. And there's these little raisin boys that you're mowing down.
It often feels more fast-paced than that trailer. Like, I feel like it's way more fun actually playing through it. But yeah, no, it's always been like just shoot through number of enemies, and I don't know.
It just looked really boring.
Yeah, it looked very unsatisfying in a weird way.
Yeah, it's not like Doom where it's like each, you feel the weight of every hit.
Every kill matters with Doom, no matter who you're killing. If it's a grunt or a big guy, it matters. I think that Halo has always been like your big guy who has to beat up little children to get through. But
do you think we're still going to get a look at the multiplayer this year? Or is that now going to be pushed off as well, you think? Because they said that their next trailer would be about the multiplayer.
Maybe? I don't know. Maybe they still want to like show off stuff and see what the community reception looks like to it, because I don't see why not. It'd be cool, but if they wanted to delay that as well, that'd be fine. I mean, if the game's not coming out for a longer time, I guess there's no point to show it so soon.
Okay, now for my side of the story. Do not buy an Xbox Series X. You do not need to do this. It is launching with nothing but Game Pass. And I'm sorry, but it's not worth it, because Game Pass is a very good deal. But you can get all of those games either on the Xbox you already know, or you already own, my bad, or your PC. There's no reason to go out and spend $500-$600 on this new Xbox right now. And I think we're going to see that in the launch sales. I really do. Yeah. Because, people that aren't plugged into gaming news and follow it, which is a majority of the people that buy hardware, I would feel like, especially at the start, they look for games.
Yeah.
And if Xbox is saying, our entire library for launch is just stuff you already own, I think people are going to want to buy a PS5 or just wait.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really rough way to start the launch of your console. Because you can meme on the Wii U all you want. At least that game came out with games. Or that console came out with games.
Yeah. Xbox has always been the console that doesn't need exclusives. It just needs... Like, the thing with Xbox is that I always say that, like, the thing with these consoles is that it really doesn't fucking matter. Just whichever one...
it doesn't.
Whichever ones have the exclusives that you want to play, go for that. Because that's the only thing that's locked behind it. With the thing with Xbox, it's like, typically, people that are already in it have friends that play games that they are interested in and want to continue doing that. And I think that's really the main consumer for the Series X, is people who are, like, gonna continue with an Xbox because all their friends are there, and so forth. But
it's just not worth to buy at launch, in my opinion. I think it's a really poor marketing scheme to be like, we don't have any games, but you can play all the other ones that you already have. Like, it just feels weird to spend all that money on essentially just a new box.
Yeah.
This is going to change, as these exclusives start coming out, because the Xbox learned from the past. They bought all those studios and they're all working on stuff, but it's just not ready yet.
Yeah, no, there's a point of like Xbox isn't the best like gaming console right now. It's not the best place for like exclusives or anything like that, but it's certainly a place that like I don't know. I can't imagine being like a new consumer to all this. And what about the Xbox interests you?
Yeah, yeah. Like if someone came up to me and they don't own any games, or like they don't have any consoles and they want to get in this gen to experience something next gen, I would not tell them to buy the new Xbox. I would tell them to get a PS5 because at the end of the day, if you want that next gen experience, you're going to go for the PS5 because, you know, as far as I'm aware, when you get Game Pass for this new Xbox, these games haven't had time to upscale them, you know, all the way. So what you're essentially getting is just a 60 FPS 4K experience. Yeah. You're not getting the next gen ray tracing. You're not getting anything like that. So it's if you want to experience next gen, I honestly think the PS5 is the way to go.
And even if you're not like a gaming person and just wants like an entertainment thing, I feel like there are like smart TVs that can use like Netflix and any streaming platform you want. There's no point to.
That was a big criticism of the Xbox One. It was like, what am I buying this for? To watch TV?
Yeah.
When that came out, do you remember that?
Yeah, because they wanted to have it connected with your cable and stuff, so you could watch sports and play fucking Advanced Warfare. I don't know, but yeah. Speaking of things that are not the wisest thing to spend money on, we got Marvel's The Avengers,
published by Square,
made
by Crystal Dynamics.
Crystal Dynamics,
who have done all the Tomb Raider remakes.
Such as Rise and
Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
I don't know. I didn't play them. I've only played the 2013 first remake.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Every time there's a Linus Tech Tips videos and he builds like a budget PC, he's like, all right, I'll fucking play Shadow of the Tomb Raider to benchmark this. But yeah, so we got the Avengers.
Yeah, last weekend they put out the PS4 pre-order beta. I'm not sure what this weekend's beta is, but I think it's pre-order for Xbox and PC, and then next weekend is the open beta for all platforms.
Can I say how much I hate this beta type of like marketing for things
that? Locking the beta behind a paywall is terrible.
Either a pre-order wall or a console exclusive wall, whatever. It's just always weird. Like I felt like a beta is supposed to be like a test of, I don't know, the gaming and like servers and stuff.
Well, if you remember a game that had a beta very shortly before launch, that game was called Fallout 76. And
did it have an open beta?
It did.
Really? Before launch?
About a month.
A month before
launch. And that was when everyone was like, oh no.
Oh no.
And this beta came out and everybody went, oh no.
Oh, fuck.
It opens with asking you to make a Square Enix account, and then it asks you to connect that account to your Epic account so you can get some Fortnite skins, and then it lets you into the game. So you got to go through all the ads first, and then you can play the game.
This game is so weird with its skin exclusivity of like being behind like Verizon customers and
they've had so many different brand deals. I'm sorry, but your live service game about the Avengers is not going to make that much money when you're just off of skins. I'm sorry. This game is going to flop. It's the new Anthem. I'm calling it. Pack it in. We're done.
I don't know anyone personally. I also haven't seen a lot of people like on Twitter being fully on board with this game, being like fully excited for it.
I've seen a little bit of people saying it's just a beta, but we've been burned enough times to know that they're not going to fix any of this, you know, from the beta.
Yeah.
You might get some like matchmaking fixes, you might get some like quality of life fixes, but the core gameplay that's there is what's really bad, and that's not getting fixed.
Absolutely. When you have as much of the bugs that I've seen, and when the game just isn't like
the camera spin, it's so funny. It just woo.
There's
and it
so
fucking
many
spins.
There's so many issues with like the core gameplay of like when we say that, it means like just the way that it works.
It's so clunky. Its frame rate is bad. The motion blur is bad.
It doesn't look satisfying to like, you know, attack enemies in combat.
No, and everything's like a robot, so there's no like weight to anything at all. No. It's just wave after wave of metal garbage.
Yeah, it's just like just how much damage you can do into a character, which is all video games are, but when it feels like this, it just feels like a turn-based like number game. Like I don't know, it feels so unsatisfying to look at. I will absolutely play this open beta.
There's about 9 hours of content in the beta. I don't think I'm going to be able to handle all of that. I'll definitely play the opening.
Yeah.
And maybe the first mission or so after that. But from all of what I watched on Twitch of this beta, I really don't want to play this game.
I want to give it the best chance it can to give me something to be interested in. So I'll play all of it. I'll even try the matchmaking to see how that goes. But if not, it's just going to be a mess if, like, none of that works.
It feels like they put a lot of money and time into that opening, like, prologue with A-Day and all of that stuff. Yeah. And then the other, part of the... the other part of the game feels really not good. And, what was I going to say? Oh, okay, so, like, the matchmaking, it feels strange because you're supposed to be able to, like, hop in with, like, I don't know how they're gonna rank that based off of, like, levels or skill or whatever, because the menus are so confusing. There's all these different numbers.
Is it a match-made game? Is it, like, a specific co-op?
Your AI companions are also really bad, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching one review, and he was saying, I gotta plug our boy Skill Up. He's a really good Australian game reviewer. He's been doing it for a long time. He makes really good stuff. Go check him out. But he in his video, he was talking about how some of the missions are designed of, like, stand on a point for a certain amount of time and kill enemies. But the AI is so stupid that they won't stand on the point. So you have to stand on the point, and then you become, like, you draw everybody's, like, attacks. Yeah. So you have to stay alive while all of your AI teammates are just fucking around not doing anything. And that sounds terrible.
Yeah, I don't understand, like, do you switch characters every level? How often do you choose before you go? I don't understand.
From what I get, I think some missions are just like, here are the characters that you can play, pick one, and then we'll match to whoever picked. Like,
how does level progression work?
One of the missions is like Kamala and Hulk. Yeah, so I guess you get to pick one.
Yeah. But then it's like you have gotten equipment and armor and things like that. Yeah. But the only character I've seen that has, like, the whole, like, Destiny-esque RPG menu for all their items and stuff is Iron Man.
Yeah, because you can't, and that is also another thing. None of the upgrades and the loot you find is represented on your character model.
What?
It's all just based on whatever skin you have equipped.
Yeah.
So all of it just feels really strange, because why do superheroes need to run around levels and look for loot?
Yeah, never really made like because this game has been compared to Ultimate Alliance. How can you not? It's a team, like, I don't know.
I guarantee you this game would be going over so much better if it was a 20-hour linear Avengers game where you're just going through missions and you get to pick a character and you can play with friends. Making it a live service game is just a really icky decision. I feel like it feels like they're trying to make as much money off of this as they possibly can.
It feels like they've overcomplicated it.
Yeah.
They've now reached a thing that they can't really, like, I don't know, it's weird that they wanted to make this like a MMORPG.
Yeah, every character has their own battle pass that's going to have a paid tier as well.
What?
Yeah, so you have to buy them individually.
What? That's crazy, man.
Yeah. It's so much, it just feels wrong. It just feels like Anthem did. The disrespect of, like, the players, of people's money. It just, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not good.
Every time I think about the Avengers and I think about everything into it, I'm like, I just want to play Fall Guys. I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
Fall Guys is, like, way more better of a game than the Avengers is going to be.
Have you won yet?
I haven't won a Fall Guys match.
What level are you?
I'm only, like, level 8.
Okay, I just hit 10 and I still haven't won anything yet.
Yeah, I've been like playing it a whole lot, and whenever I do play it, it's like I'll make it a couple rounds in.
Yeah.
I haven't won one yet.
I'm excited to see that game grow because it's so much fun. I think it would be really fun for them to add different game modes. We talked about this in the last podcast, but we've been playing it a lot, and
yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah, Fall Guys is probably gonna get best indie, I feel like, of the year.
Absolutely, why not?
So let's talk about what's in the future as we're kind of wrapping things up here.
Absolutely.
We got I don't know what capacity of, like, live streaming is going on with this DC event.
Oh, the fandom?
Yeah, I don't know really what is going to be announced and when on that day. Like, I don't know if there's a stream to watch, but
it's the 22nd.
We're going to see at least a trailer from Rocksteady's new game. Mm-hmm. We're probably going to get a Suicide Squad trailer as well for the movie. some other stuff.
A whole bunch of stuff.
But we'll definitely talk about that. I don't know. They haven't like looked into if there's a stream or anything like that. But then on the 27th, I believe, is Open Night Live for Gamescom, hosted by Jeff Keighley.
Our boy.
Last year at that event, we got that first gameplay look at Death Stranding.
Yeah.
So the only thing they announced for that so far is a look at Doom's first DLC.
Yeah.
Do you have any predictions for Open Night Live?
Probably some
anything
more,
you want to see?
I want to see more RE8 stuff. I want to see more.
Yeah, they said August, so maybe that's at this show. I thought it was gonna be at the State of Play. I was wrong.
I think that'd be really cool. I think maybe like another Cyberpunk thing, but they already have these.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really think there's anything else that's like coming out yet. I'm sure there will be a bunch of stuff revealed. Mm-hmm. I don't think we'll get Elden Ring.
Oh no, you're not. I think it's gonna happen. I think they've been waiting all summer to show us Elden Ring.
Dang. But yeah, dude. That's
my big prediction is Elden Ring.
It's probably the one event that I'm looking the most forward to because there's so much unpredictability.
It's the last big one of the summer.
Yeah.
Our Summer Games Fest is coming to a close. It's been way more entertaining than E3. I think we'll talk more about that after that stream because then it'll be officially over. But I do want to spend some time talking about how I think E3 is dead. And Jeff Keighley came out on top.
We should talk about that after this summer of like how this summer with COVID and with these streams has done in comparison to like E3 and how much more content there is and like how much more in depth it is. But yeah, that'd be kind of interesting.
I'm also gonna be looking forward to seeing how Jeff is gonna tackle Game Awards this year. He says he's doing it. He's gonna try and make it as best as he possibly can given the circumstances. So. Absolutely. I'm hoping, I think the advent of everybody being online makes people way more available,
Yeah.
So, like, remember last year when Vin Diesel walked out on stage and was like, buy the Need for Speed game or whatever.
You're fucking right. Yeah.
Or the Fast and Furious game, whatever that was.
Yeah. It was Vin Diesel and that other actress that's in those movies. I forget her name, but yeah, no.
Like, if you look at, like, the guest list for that DC thing, it's full of celebrities, too.
It is.
So, like, I imagine that we're going to get some more Muppets. We're going to get a bunch of celebrities,
Yeah, why not,
But, are we ready to wrap up?
Yeah, it's really about everything. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Yeah, I think our next big video, or not video, well, I guess it is a video, but it's also a podcast.
A podcast.
We'll probably do another voice cast between now and our Avengers podcast.
Yeah.
I saw a group that's a bigger group than us. They started a boys cast. Their podcast is called Boys Cast.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so we're gonna have to sue them for all of everything they own.
That's gonna be a fucking cease and desist.
Yeah. We got some. I got some good ideas for our next boys cast. We've got a lot going on. We got some fucking wasps that we gotta talk about.
Yeah, I can't get through the fucking front door.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.